All right. Hey, this is Jeremy, and this is your Thursday 5 for 5 devotion. So, this weekend is a big weekend for my family. My brother Brian is getting married this weekend. He asked me to officiate the wedding. What an honor. And this Saturday, he chose this day to get married on because it's a special day for our family. My dad would have been 72 years old this Saturday, August the 28th. Now, he passed away 3 years ago. He left an awesome example of how a husband should love his wife. My dad was unselfish. My dad was humble. And my dad tried to put my mom's interest ahead of his own. Now, we read about the ultimate example for how someone should love their spouse in Ephesians chapter 5. Paul says in verse 25 that husbands should love their wives the way that Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Wow. Husbands, love your wives. This is an agape kind of love. It's a love that seeks the highest good for the other person. The way that Christ loved the church. Wow, it's a holy kind of love. Christ and his relationship with the church, anyone who believes in Jesus. Marriage is also a holy relationship. It's ordained by God, set apart by God. How did Christ love the church? He gave himself up for her. It's a sacrificial kind of love. That's the kind of love that we should use in our marriages. We know from Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4, that marriage should be honored by all people. It is honorable. It's sacred. It's holy. After our relationship with God, marriage should be up there as the highest human relationship that we have. We shouldn't tamper with other people's marriages. We should encourage other people to stay faithful, to remain true in their marriage. Marriage to me, and you're going to think this is funny, but it reminds me of like an Indiana Jones movie. Well, what do I mean by that? So Indiana Jones is always on a quest to find some kind of ancient artifact. A lot of times it goes back to something in the Bible, whether he's searching for the Ark of the Covenant or the Holy Grail. Now, can you imagine if you went on that kind of search and you found something very precious, something you considered holy? Maybe it was an ancient manuscript, a piece of the Bible that was very old. What would you do with that? You would take that ancient thing and you would be very careful with it because of how sacred, how precious it is. You would make sure that nobody tampered with it. You would hold on tight to that because it's very valuable. That's how we should look at our marriages. We should see our marriage as something very, very valuable. We should value it above other relationships that we have here on earth. We should spend time taking care of our marriage because it's worth that much. We should set aside our own interest for the interests of our spouse. That's the kind of marriage that Christ is looking for in us. I want you in your marriage, or as you're trying to help those in their marriage, to see your marriage as something precious, something beautiful, something holy, and take the very best care of it. Love your spouse the way that Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Hey, look, I hope you have a great day today and a great weekend. See ya.